Have you ever wondered why you spend hours scrolling on Instagram? The truth is, we waste our time because we don't have anything more fulfilling to do. We grew up in a school system that taught us to blend in and be like everyone else. But today, it's time to realize the real issue. You don't know what to do because you don't know who you are. In this video, you'll learn how to find the golden seed inside you, so your work isn't just about paying bills anymore, but becomes your passion and your purpose.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something huge today, maybe one of the biggest questions out there. How do you find a life and a job that actually feels meaningful?
You ever have that feeling? You're working your tail off, checking all the boxes, doing everything you're supposed to do, but you just feel stuck. Like you're on a hamster wheel, running and running, but getting absolutely nowhere. Well, you are definitely not alone. And today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. And this right here, this quote is such a game changer. Think about it. We all beat ourselves up for scrolling on Instagram or binge watching shows, right? But what if it's not because we're lazy? What if it's just a symptom, a sign that we're missing something better, something more joyful in our lives to pour that energy into?
Okay, so to figure out how to get out of the trap, we first have to understand how we got in it. Let's take a look at some of the big reasons why so many of us feel this way.
From the moment we're kids, society kind of hands us this blueprint, doesn't it? Be a doctor, be an engineer. These are the safe paths, the ones that promise security and get you that nod of approval at family dinners. But here's the catch. What if that blueprint isn't yours? What if you're trying to build a life based on someone else's plans?
Wow, this metaphor just hits hard, doesn't it? The idea is that we're all born like these powerful wild lions. But for the sake of a steady paycheck, for that feeling of safety, we end up in a cage. We get comfortable, we accept the food that's handed to us, and we slowly forget that we ever had the power to go out and hunt for ourselves.
But here's the hopeful part. What if the key to that cage isn't something you have to find out there in the world? What if it's been inside you this whole time? Let's talk about that, this idea of an inner seed of purpose. So this brings us to a really beautiful concept. The Persian word for it is risalat, which basically means your life's mission or purpose. And the whole idea here is that your purpose isn't something you have to go out and invent. It's not a puzzle you have to build. It's more like a seed, this unique golden seed that's already been planted inside of you. Your entire job, the whole point, is just to find it and help it grow. Okay, so how do we actually do that? Well, think of yourself as a gardener. Step 1, you have to actually find the seed. That means looking inside through self-knowledge. Step 2, you create the right conditions. You prepare the soil, you give it water and sun. For us, that might mean changing our environment, our habits, even the people we hang out with. And then step 3, and this is the most important part, you just let it grow. You can't force it. You don't tug on a little sprout to make it grow faster, right? You just trust the process.
And what's amazing is that once you start doing this, once you start watering that seed, your whole view of the world starts to change. It completely flips the script on what we think of as success or money or what it even means to be rich.
So let's talk about money. Most of us are taught to see the world as this fixed pie. If you get a big slice, that means there's less for me. It's a mindset of scarcity, and it leads to fear and competition. But what if you shifted your view? What if the world isn't a pie but a flowing river? With an abundance mindset, you realize there's enough for everybody. Someone else's success doesn't take away from you. Heck, it might even inspire you and show you what's possible.
And this thinking changes everything, even how we see luxury. The old definition was all about stuff, right? Fancy watches, expensive cars, things to show other people how well you're doing. But the new luxury? Oh, it's so much better. It's internal, it's peace of mind, it's having the guts to not care what other people think. And maybe the biggest luxury of all? Just having time. Free, unscheduled time to just be. That is the new wealth, for sure.
Okay, I love this distinction between being cunning and being wise. Society often rewards the cunning person, right? The one who's slick, who can win the deal, who always gets one over on somebody. They're focused on the immediate win. But a wise person, they're playing a different game. They see the big picture. They know that winning a single transaction might mean losing in the long run. They're not trying to win the battle. They're trying to win it life.
All right, so all of this sounds great, I know. But the big question is, how do you actually start? Where does the rubber meet the road? Well, that's what we're going to cover right now, how to turn all this philosophy into action.
So, where do you begin? It feels like such a huge, overwhelming question. But the answer, believe it or not, is actually pretty simple. And it's not about adding more to your plate. It's about subtraction. This is the secret sauce right here. You don't have to have this perfect, crystal clear vision of your future self. That's way too much pressure. Instead, just start by eliminating who you are not. Get rid of the beliefs you picked up that aren't really yours. Stop playing the roles you think you're supposed to play. Clarity comes from chipping away the stone, not from building something new.
And as you start shedding that stuff, you can begin to act like the person you want to be. You don't wait until you're successful to wake up early. You wake up early to become successful. See the difference? It's about embodying that energy right now. And look, it doesn't have to be some huge, life-altering move. Just read 4 pages. Meditate for 10 minutes. Pick one small, courageous thing and do it today. And we're going to leave you with this powerful thought. You don't need the whole map. You don't need to see the finish line. All you have to do is take the first step. Just set foot on the path and trust that the path itself will show you where to go next. So I guess the only real question is, are you ready to start walking?
Finding your inner path is like planting a seed. You don't need to teach the seed how to grow or dig it up every day to check on it. Your only job is to provide the right soil and enough light, the right conditions, and clear away anything that gets in the way. Then your seed of being, whether it's mango or fig, will naturally grow into a strong, thriving tree all on its own. Thanks for sticking with us until the end of the video. Liking the video doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to us and really keeps us motivated. Stay with us on this channel and drop a comment to share your experiences. We'd love to hear from you.